What's up, you damn gorgeous and beautiful gamers? Welcome back to Role-Playing Games. This is Mariel Corner in the internet, where we like to discuss about RPGs. If you like the content, if you like to have these conversations with Mariel Games, very much like to invite you, like always, to hit the like button, because it really helps me like you have no idea. And also, most of the people that watch my content are in fact not subscribed to my channel, so what are you waiting for? Today's video I am going to show you some of the early talents that you should be keeping with you at all times, because they are so very goddamn good. Talents early game are very powerful, so if you decide to take these talents that I am going to show you, you should have a much more smoother experience with this game. So first and foremost, we have execution. 1 point right here, it's a talent that you should get early on. I would advise for you to level it up as much as you can. The healing execution, I mean, that's the one. Execution, you already have it, but the healing execution level 1. After performing an execution, some health and energy will be restored based on level of the enemy. Based on level of the enemy, you're going to get healed. And getting healed in between battles, it just keeps the flow of the momentum, going as smooth as possible. You don't have to rest that much. You can explore without worrying too much about resting, because at the end of the day you're healing yourself by killing enemies. So this is definitely a must. I would advise a healing execution level 2, but that's for specific builds. If you have a specific build for this, then yeah, but not necessarily, not mandatory. This one is the one that you should be taking. Now, sharp weapons increases saber attack damage. The basic attack damage, the gray health bar of the enemies, that is going to be increased by this thing. Now, that's a must. This one as well, increase the saber attack damage even more. These little two ones, you should take them as soon as you can, because at the end of the day, they are just raw damage. You must take them as soon as you can. And then we have Deflect. I would advise for Deflect, Reckless Deflect level 2, because it really helps you to parry enemies as much as you can. Well, not parry, deflect the enemies. Now, windows for this specific game, for enemies, they are really not that huge of a deal. They are not that hard nor complicated. But in specific boss fights, it will help you to deal as much damage on the gray health bar of the enemies as fast as possible. And if you're not that proficient at deflects and you mostly rely on dodges because you're not that proficient with this one, I would advise for this one to be maxed out as soon as possible, because the window of opportunity for deflects with this thing, it's really goddamn high. I would say that this is also pretty goddamn amazing. Increase the deflect damage, meaning damage that you deal to the gray health bar of the enemy. But that is only if you feel comfortable, with the deflect window damage. And then we have dodge. Long dodge, at least level 1. That's the one that you should be taking ASAP. Depending on the playstyle, you want to be careful. You want to be getting away from the enemy. Enemies are very aggressive in this game. Enemies, when you get mobbed, it's also goddamn amazing to have a space to be moving around in the battlefield. So what this thing is going to do, it's just going to extend the range of the dodge that you do. Let me tell you, honestly, the range that you move with this thing, it's amazing. I mean, look at all of that ground that I have covered with this thing. That's just such an amazing range for the dodge to help you out with. So that is definitely a must to reposition as much as you can in the battlefield. We also have step and jump. Level 1. B towards enemy right before the critical attack hits to jump and interrupt it. Basically, this is easier to pull off than using feathers. Feathers, if you enjoy using them, then I might as well would advise for you to play some points in here. I do not advise them. I have not used them at all in the entirety of the game. They might seem powerful, but reality, if you build your character properly, you do not need them. But this thing, it's the window for this thing, critical attacks. Whenever someone is going to do a critical attack to you and you use this thing, it's easy to dodge critical attacks with this thing, and also gives you a window for counter attacks, so that is quite amazing. Quick recovery level 1. During certain on-hit animations, press B to get up quickly. Whenever you get stumbled down in the ground and you need to get away from harm's way, that is not always going to be the case. Some animations will lock you on the ground, but being able to recover from when you make mistakes is huge in this game, not to take any more damage. The Short Claw, level 1, perform a series of short-range claw attacks up to 3 combo. When hitting an enemy with Short Claw, gain 1 stack of offensive buff. This thing is going to deal damage like you have no idea. The most amazing thing is that it's also going to... Let me show you real fast. Let me see if I can find an enemy around here. There should be someone. Yes, there we go. It's going to... Oh god, I'm getting mobbed right here. Well, it's going to stagger the enemies, as you can see right here. He's getting staggered, and apart from dealing way too much damage, as you were able to see when you're hitting with your claw, it's really fast attacking, and it's not going to allow them, it's not going to let them to get on their feet to strike back. So then we have the Plague Weapon level 2. I would advise only to take this one if you feel like you want to use different kind of plague weapons. More often than not, in these kind of games, when you feel comfortable with a specific weapon, then you are able to carry it throughout the entirety of the game. So yeah, there is that. If you find a plague weapon that you like to use and that's your bread and butter and you're not going to change it, then do not take this one. You don't necessarily have to have 2 plague weapons on the inventory. The one that you actually do need to max out as soon as possible is Plague Wounds level 3. Further extends the time taken before the enemy wounds start healing and reduces the healing rate. Essentially, like the mechanic of the claw damage, the green hell bar of the enemy, is that you need to deal base regular damage to the enemies, the gray hell bar, and then it is going to heal if you do not deal damage again back to the enemy. On regular enemies, this is not going to be that amazing, but on bosses, trust me, it's a lifesaver talent. Because in boss fights, more often than not, when you're starting out the game, you want to have a specific momentum to breathe, to let yourself breathe, and have control of the flow of battle. So, being able to extend the time they have before they actually start healing themselves is amazing. The final one that I recommend you to level up ASAP is this one, up to level 3. Plague weapons, the plague weapons mechanics, they are quite interesting. Like, if you find a plague weapon that you like and you would like to use it, my advice would be that as soon as you get it, upgrade it and farm enemies. And you don't actually need to farm enemies if you have this talent unlocked, because as you normally play, you will be able to get those plague weapon shots, to be able to upgrade your weapons as fast as possible. And getting your main plague weapon to the final level, it's a game changer, because they add more combos, they reduce the energy cost, they reduce the cooldown. So this thing is going to allow you to upgrade your plague weapons ASAP. So that being said, if you find the information useful, I would very much like for you to like the video and subscribe before you close the door. And remember that if no one has told you today that you're a gorgeous and beautiful person, you are indeed a gorgeous and beautiful person. Have a beautiful day, and I'll be seeing you goddamn gorgeous and beautiful people in the next one. Goodbye.